What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down Gilbert Durinho Burns versus Stephen Thompson Wonder Boy. Cannot wait for this fight. Really fun welterweight scrap, man. I felt like I wanted to do a film study on it, but give you guys all the cool clips. But I was like, you know what? I already did that for Connor and Dustin, and I obviously I do watch fights, even if I don't show you guys the clips. I still watch the fights. For film, breakdowns and stuff like that, just to get familiar. But it is what it is. I love this fight. But yeah, I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like editing as much for fight week. But it is what it is. Gilbert does. If we look at the rankings, you can't trust the Tapology rankings, man. They be lying on there. But if we look at the welterweight rankings on the UFC website, Gilbert is number 2. Wonder Boy is number 4. Really good matchup, 2 versus 4. I like it. Gilbert just fought for the belt. Wonder Boy, has had 2 phenomenal performances back to back. I think this is a great opportunity for both guys to, it's a good opportunity for Gilbert to, rebound after the championship loss and kind of get back where he was, and maybe get a rematch with Usman. And this is a good opportunity for Wonder Boy to get one more chance. I look at this as Wonder Boy's final run, to the belt, and maybe could he get it? This is, I remember how Alistair was saying one final run, and I think this is what it is for Wonder Boy. He's 38 right now. I think this is a big fight for him, and if he wins this, I think he doesn't have to fight anyone else. You fight the guy that fought for the belt last, gave Usman some trouble in the first round. You got a really good story, and beating Luque, Jeff Neal. Obviously Jeff Neal it is, but and then Burns. You put yourself in a good spot, right? But let's look at the stats. Obviously, let's look at the records and stuff like that. Burns comes in as 19-4. Is fighting out of Florida, age 34, and a height of 5'10". Wonder Boy 16-4-1. Is fighting at South Carolina, age 38, and a height of 6 foot. And in terms of both of their reaches, Gilbert has a reach of 71, and Wonder Boy has I totally mispronounced Wonder Boy, but it is what it is. Has a reach of 75. So Wonder Boy does come in there with a 4-inch reach advantage. This is going to be really interesting. It's going to be a good fight. I can't wait for it. But if we look at Gilbert and his notable wins, man, I mean, Gilbert at 170 really caught my eye. For me personally, like where I looked at him like, okay, he might be able to do something, is when he beat Gunnar Nelson. And I was really shocked because I thought Gunnar was going to beat him. And I was like, wow, okay, Gilbert might be special. But if we even look, before that, his victory over Alexei Kunchenko, he's 20-0, short notice fight for Burns. He, this is, I think, his first fight at welterweight. I mean, real test. I mean, legitimate test. Kunchenko did a lot of good stuff with the leg kicks. Obviously, he was just a little too timid, and Burns just looked so much better on the feet, on the ground. Just looked so much better in the first 2 rounds. He slowed down in the third. I gave it 2-1. He did get dropped via leg kicks, so that's going to be really interesting to see in the Wonder Boy fight. But he also threw his own leg kicks, But there wasn't. Here's the thing: a lot of these, and I said it even in my Usman breakdown versus him and Gilbert Burns. These guys didn't have a crazy reach advantage. Burns looks good against guys that don't have that reach. People don't understand. Reach plays such a big factor in a fight. Like someone with a really long reach, it is so hard to get to them. People really don't understand it. Like, it is really hard for the fighter, and then it hurts mentally, and you get frustrated, and mentally you start doing dumb stuff, and then you start repeating the same combo over and over out of frustration and anger, just trying to hit the guy and try to be like, oh, I just got to touch him one time, and then he's out of there. Maybe you might get it, but then if you don't touch him and he's still there, you've wasted all that energy just trying to touch him. Just headhunting basically. And Gilbert with guys with similar reaches with him, he does great. He looks like a phenomenal fighter. He looks so good, right? Even if guys with maybe 1 or 2 or 3, it's when you get to that like 4 or 5, or 6, right? That's when you start seeing the problems for Gilbert. and nothing against the longer fighters. Longer fighters with longer reaches, like just crazy reach advantage, aren't necessarily the greatest technical fighters. They're not so fast, right? Because it's just weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like, you look at a guy like John Jones, and it's like, he's a great fighter. He's a great long fighter, but he's not, like, he doesn't have the boxing of Alexander Gustafsson, right? You can just see it. His hands move a certain way, but it works for him because he knows how to use his reach. He knows how to get out of certain areas, and he has a good enough ability in the boxing where he doesn't look too bad, right? So that's where you also got to look at it from that perspective, is that it's just such an unfair thing to deal with. It's really, really hard to deal with. But back to Gilbert, man, his performance against Mike Davis was something I really looked at. But if we go even further back, he has the performance against Olivier Ben, which was a really good performance for him. And then we look at the Dan Hooker fight. So this is a really important fight to look at. I mean, Dan Hooker, look at the reach advantage. He had 75.5. So he had a bit of longer arms than Wonder Boy, but he was able to really hurt him bad in that fight and just kind of dominate him. But ever since that Dan Hooker loss, he went up. He fought Konchenko, fought Gunnar Nelson, was able to beat him in the wrestling. Gunnar had a lot of success in the clinch, but was able to beat him in the wrestling and the striking. Then fights Damian Maia, right, which was crazy. Knocked him out bad, knocked him out so bad. I was like, whoa, this is insanity. He looked so good in the grappling transitions. This is when people were really hyped on Burns, and I still wasn't a believer in him. I saw the Dan Hooker fight. I saw that he can't deal well with a longer ranger fighter that with good takedown defense. Then he fought T Wood. Now T Wood, I thought T Wood was gonna beat him here. I really did. I thought T Wood was gonna thought he was gonna have his way with him. And T Wood, he did have a bit of a reach advantage of 3 inches, right? And 74-71. You look at someone like T Wood, he got decently long arms for someone his height, and he has really fast hands. Durinho, with somebody like this that didn't have such a crazy reach advantage over him, right? He was able to look good against him. His 1-2s, everything looked good. Everyone was just like, wow, Durinho's the best welterweight on the planet because he had a better performance against T Wood than Usman did, right? And that was the kind of like, that's how people were kind of judging it. And I thought that was kind of stupid. But it is what it is, right? But that's the facts, like he just looked really, really good against someone that is very similar to him, right? He can do that. But when someone with a different style, a longer ranger fighter, he doesn't know how to deal with that. It's really hard for him to mentally get out of there. It's all mental with Durinho. He's very an emotional fighter. You can just see it. Anytime he wins, he's just super excited. Anytime he loses, he's crying and he's just heartbroken. And that's just the game that that's the game he plays and not the game I play. But that's the game of MMA, man. It's really hard. But you got to control your emotions. And to deal with a longer ranger fighter, you have to have a really good mentality. And you have to be able to just, set traps and just deal with them, I guess best example is this is Kelvin Gastelum versus Adesanya. That was a really, that's how someone with a very, very short arms, that's how you want to deal. Even though he ended up losing, it's how you kind of want to deal with a longer ranger fighter, It's, there's a lot of other examples how you beat a longer ranger fighter, right? But, I think that one was a lot better because it's just such the reach disadvantage. But if we look at the Usman fight, Usman 76-71, 5-inch reach advantage. And that's basically what happened. You saw the jab. Obviously, Usman had some problems with him in the beginning of the fight, but he got dropped. But eventually, he started when Burns went on his back, right? It is what it is. But for me personally, y'all know me. Maybe I didn't say it in my breakdowns or my full card predictions, but I just didn't. There was just something about Burns. I've said it on my fight talks. I don't like this guy. Something that it just irritated me the way he handled the situation with Usman. I'm not even an Usman fan like that. I'm not even a big Usman fan, but I remember there were people on Twitter saying, "Wow, nobody from from Stanford MMA is rooting for Usman. This was your brother. This is your guy, and this is how you're going to treat him. And then what really made me feel some type of way about Burns is when this motherfucker went on the schmo and said, I would never fight Vicente Luque. Even if I win the belt, right, I'll go down to 155 and let Vicente Luque fight for the belt because I guess that's his brother, right? But someone like Usman, a guy you trained with, a guy you've held his kids before, a guy you let hold your kids before, you're ready to take everything he's worked for and fight him. That just rubbed me the wrong way. I felt like it was such a, it was just a snake move to do, He probably never even really cared for Usman like that, and he was just ready to take it, but he cared about Luque. It's just such a, to me, it comes off kind of, like, I know some people are like, oh, it's, da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? You saw what happened to him. That's karma right there. So we saw who was right, punk. And that's to all the people that was on this Dorino hype train, man. All y'all some punks. But for that one made me mad. I was like, that, like, the amount of people, like, I'm not even a fan of this guy, and I want Colby to beat him one day, like Usman. But Dorino, y'all really was ready to switch up, man. Come on, man. Dorino ain't the guy. Some washed up lightweight, man. I'm not even going too far. But let's talk about Wonder Boy's resume, man. This guy, I mean, really, when I started to really respect his victory over Robert Whittaker, the way he handled Whittaker, I mean, just made him look like a fool. I mean, completely destroyed him. Obviously, he does have that loss to Matt Brown where he dealt with a lot of pressure, and Matt was just able to just kind of control him, right? So that's really interesting in there. Then he fights Jake Ellenberger, destroys him, and Ellenberger was talking so much mess about karate. He taught him a lesson. Has the main event with Johnny Hendricks. I was like, I think Johnny's going to get this done. I think old Johnny's going to come back. He starches Johnny like he's a nobody. I was like, whoa. What is going on here? Then fights Roy McDonald. I mean, had a phenomenal performance against Roy. Just completely shut him down. And I'm like, dude, something's going on, bro. This is not real. I was telling people this is not real. How, like, this guy's too good. Then fights T Wood. Went to a draw. Phenomenal fight. That was such a great fight. The first fight, I love that fight. That was a crazy fight, man. They were just going back and forth, and just I remember when Woodley dropped Wonder Boy, then goes for the guillotine. I thought it was over. He gets his head out the way, and then he starts just landing like just combos on top, while Woodley had full guard, and it was just insane. Then he loses the fight to T Wood, and T Wood just kind of, he figured him out eventually. He just didn't let him get that much offense in, and just kind of like, basically waited more. And then, he fights Jorge Masvidal. Phenomenal performance against Jorge. Dropped him. Just kind of schooled him a little bit. Then fights Till, right? So this is a controversial one. A lot of people think he won that fight. Me personally, I just, like, he got dropped, so I didn't, and, they were in Till's hometown, so I didn't have a problem with it. But, he got the W there. But then, then he fights Anthony Pettis. This is really, really interesting. In the Pettis fight, I mean, Pettis was really, really good at putting pressure and attacking the legs. He would go low and then go up top. And that's how you deal with a longer range fighter. Like I was saying, like, you attack the body or the legs. You saw how Jan Blachowicz dealt with Adesanya. He attacked the body. He threw so many body kicks. He checked all the leg kicks. He threw some of his own leg kicks. You want to go from low to top. You don't want to just headhunt because then it's obvious, right? This is kind of what Vicente and Jeff Neal fell into. But Pettis was really, really good, starting low and then working his way up top. And he got the Superman punch and he got the knockout in the second round. And it was crazy. It was insanity what he did. Then he fights Luque, who was like on I think a 6-fight win streak. Something crazy, right? I mean, completely schooled him. Beat him up so bad. That is the worst beating. Like, I think Wonder Boy wanted to finish bad in that fight. He gave him an ass whooping I ain't ever seen in my life. He whooped his ass, y'all. Like, even Jeff Neal didn't get his ass whooped that bad. Luque got whooped on. Luque had some moments, right? But again, yeah, it is what it is. And now we look at Jeff Neal, and Jeff Neal, he just kind of got destroyed. Like he 5-0. I mean, I remember everyone was talking about this dark horse nonsense. I don't want to be like I told you so, but it is what it is. He got schooled. I think everyone saw that coming. But, what Neil Magny did just cemented to me this guy was never anything, it wasn't anything that special. But it is what it is. In this matchup against Gilbert and Wonder Boy, I mean, this is going to be a great, great fight. I'll talk about how ways Gilbert can win. One way I think Gilbert can really, really win is basically look at the Pettis fight, attack the legs, attack the body. Don't leave yourself in positions. Don't basically take pictures. He took a lot of pictures against Usman. He would throw and then he'd wait and then Usman would hit him with the jab and he'd get hit. Right? He can't afford to do that. Wonder Boy's gonna be on his bicycle, so attack his legs. He has such a wide stance. Attack those legs, right? Go forward. Be willing to hit air. That's the problem with a lot of guys that fight Wonder Boy. They're not willing to hit air. And it's okay to hit air, because then you're gonna set up some of those leg kicks. Yeah, he'll get out the way, but if you throw 4 punches at him, he might be able to get away out of all those 4 punches. But if you end it with a kick, that's gonna be something hard for him to dodge, or something to defend or check, So I think Burns, me personally, I feel like in the striking, he needs to be patient. He needs to be okay with hitting air. And don't get tired like he did in the Usman fight. Don't get overexcited. Set your things up. Attack him in the striking. And also go for takedowns. Switch it up, And I think he can win a fight that way. Throw the overhand, keep the pressure on him. And take, by using the wrestling, you will take his kicks away. Basically the Woodley game plan. He has to implement that. Woodley did a lot of good things in that fight against Wonder Boy that a lot of people can't replicate. Because Woodley was a different beast. He was a great wrestler with great power. Burns has shown, and it's so crazy for me to say this, he has some of Prime Woodley's attributes. He has a great overhand. Well, he doesn't have a great overhand. He has a great left hook, a lead hook, right? Instead of Woodley's right overhand, he has a great lead hook, and he has great wrestling. But one thing Woodley never had was great jiu-jitsu. That's what this kid got. He beat Rafael Lovato Jr. in a grappling match. He can really give... He might be able to submit Wonder Boy. That's something what he has to do. Now, Wonder Boy, I'm going to say it. I think he's going to win this fight by decision. I don't think he's going to knock Burns out. But basically, we all saw the Usman fight, right? We saw what happened. He doesn't know how to deal with someone with a longer reach advantage. It's plagued him throughout his whole entire career. Against Dan Hooker, against Usman. Just be the third guy. Follow the game plan. Don't engage in the pocket with him. Use your movement. Just touch him. The side kicks to the body, the side kicks to the head are there for him. He's going to go forward. Attack the legs, too. I think Wonder Boy, even in the Jeff Neal, he attacked the legs first, because I think he felt like people were starting to attack his legs too much, so he started attacking it. I think that's something that Wonder Boy should do just to, kind of mess with Burns, because I think Burns might try to go for his legs. That's something it's a Henry Hoof thing. He did it against T Wood when he messed up his lead leg in their fight. He had a lot of success there. But I think if Wonder Boy can just touch him, defend the takedowns, use your jab, use your reach, I think he should win this fight. It should go to Wonder Boy. Just all his movement, his bouncy movement. His takedown defense is really good. The guy trains with Chris Weidman, for God's sakes. He used to before Weidman got his leg snapped. But I mean, the guy is a good fighter, and I just think I think Wonder Boy gets this done. I think he gets this done. I think he gets this done by decision. I think he's just gonna outclass Burns. I think Burns is gonna have some moments. I am kind of scared with going with Wonder Boy because of the facts of that everyone else is kind of going Wonder Boy, and what pisses me off too is that so many people were so hyped on this Wonder Boy guy, this Dorino guy, right? And now they're all turning on him. So that's what kind of and I get it. You see a guy lose like that against Usman, but it's like, fuck, man. It's kind of scary because it's not like he's a bum. I might have called him a bum a few times because he deserved to be called one, because he had that. I wasn't calling him a bum because he's a bum fighter, but he had a bum mentality the way he was talking about that Usman fight. But I mean, I'm just surprised that no one else is going with him, you know. And I think Wonder Boy should still get this done, even though everyone is everyone else is going with Burns. But it is what it is. As much as those little things kind of scare me, I think no matter what, I think Wonder Boy should get it done. But it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do not forget to follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Share this video. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. And go click the notification button. All notifications so you get to see all my videos. Love y'all. And goodbye.
Before I let you go, we've got Tyron Woodley on the desk. Is there anything you'd like to say to him?
I'm not giving up on it, my friend. I'm not giving up on that title.
Excellent. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Guys, back to you.